Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the North American Champions League. Tonight, we're going to be doing one of the first playoff matches between Team CozzPVPShaded or CozzPVPShaded and Sapphire Aces.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, always get that name mixed up. I'm Couch, and casting with me tonight is
Extra
the
pizza.
wonderful Extra Pizza.
Yep.
Yeah, how are you doing, Extra Pizza?
Pretty good. Glad to be casting again.
Definitely good to be back. Some games being streamed. Obviously, you have the undefeated and highly renowned team CozzPVPShaded, and then the underdogs, though of course they always have a
highly
chance.
underdog.
Yeah, Sapphire Aces. Gonna be pulling for them, but we're just gonna hop right into the draft here.
And there's looks like we're gonna see a cat fan here. Oh no, Grace.
Yeah. Quite an interesting, but still very standard ban.
Yeah.
Here and explain the picks as we get into it.
All right. That's the mandatory cat ban. If she gets passed and she gets echo, it's game over. There's a good Lance pick. So we'll probably see I'm thinking we're gonna see a Lane Celeste or a Scar.
Yeah, very strong.
The CP laners are very dominant this patch.
We have seen a bit of a weapon power pedal recently, which looks like it may potentially be something they go for. Because recently it has emerged as quite a strong pick, as we did see Cloud9 played in the VGA a week ago.
And now quite a few teams have played that since.
Yeah, but it's going to
be interesting to see whether this glaive is support or jungle. Could also be lane.
Yeah, it really could be flexed anywhere, but they pick up the Lyra, so it does appear it's going to be either a Lyra lane or it's going to be a with a Lyra support. You never know, of course.
It's probably going to be a support.
Yeah, most likely.
But
definitely going to be
the if they do go with pedal, it'll be interesting to see where they play.
Right, because of the glaive. It's going to be the Arden pick.
So it's going to be a jungle Lance, most likely.
Arden, but most likely a jungle Lance, yeah. You never know, though. Of course, the hotness, no. Very interesting.
Anything could happen.
And anything could happen. They could pull out some unseen things. It's gonna.
I doubt we'll. Oh, there's the Lane Celeste.
Yeah.
And they're highlighting over Baron, but I doubt they would pick that.
See them go.
Idris would definitely be a good pick here. So would Weapon Power Pedal if they could do it right, but it's going to be an Idris.
Yeah. So with these drafts, it does look like Sapphire Aces are going to go to protect the Celeste sort of comp, but what are you thinking for the paths over on CozzPVPShaded? Because Weapon Power Idris, very good at diving, but then you have the Weapon Power Glaive and the potential CP Idris, which is not as good, but still very strong. What would you like to see them go?
It's likely going to be a CP Idris, just because I doubt they would do a CP Glaive or double weapon power, especially into this high bursty comp that could easily build defense against double weapon power.
Yes, very true.
But we'll have to see. As long as Sapphire Aces can survive early game, they can get to mid game and really hit their power spikes. But they are
the game starting. This is the North American Champions League, brought to you by Band and partnered with Vainsocial. Just gonna get off to a standard start. Which comp do you like better, though? Obviously, with the tankier comp coming out of SP3.
I think the tankier comp can definitely work. I mean, Jungle Lance is something that has been played by many pro supports, and I mean pro junglers. So it's likely, as long as they get attention bow first, they can definitely do some damage to this Lyra.
We are gonna see Idris actually using the minion candy on the first wave and just pushing it in. So applying a lot of pressure, and
Sapphire Aces are all in jungle right now trying to push.
But they don't get the Treant, so the lane actually is getting pushed in. Celeste has to rotate up, though, missing 2 farm.
That could have been really bad positioning.
Yeah. Oh, but down in the jungle, actually, Lance taking a bit of damage. The trolling strikes in the afterburn. Lance taken extremely low, and Glaive gonna pick him up with the cleave. But Arden now left alone. As I
Yep.
was trying to say before, how much is Celeste's positioning really going to impact this game, or is Lance going to be able to do so much that it's not going to matter, you think, with the
Her
amount of...
positioning will definitely be a big factor, especially against a Glaive and an Idris.
Yeah,
I doubt.
both teams a bit of broken. Lance and Glaive in the jungle, sparring in damage. Lance taken extremely low and gets picked up by the Glaive, just striking him down yet again. That's 2 kills going over to Glaive.
And that is a
Jungle
huge
rotation.
power spike for them too.
Yeah. Celeste and lane getting abused extremely hard and running low mana. Not looking too good for Sapphire Aces so far.
The Glaive's still in the enemy jungle though.
Yeah, he just continues to push and up 2 levels now at this point. Lance dealing no damage to him, though Arden is finally going to rotate. The question is he going to be able to get out? No afterburn. But the impale does land, but Lance still taking a lot of damage. And Glaive picks it up with the afterburn, and Lyra picks up a
And
kill on
Glaive gets
Celeste.
away.
Yeah, Glaive gets away the turret, not getting the second shot off to finish him. Yeah, another kill going over to Glaive and to Lyra. The lane extremely pushed, and Glaive's just going to back off and take the whole jungle now.
At this point, Sapphire Aces are backed into a huge corner.
Yeah, the level disadvantage is insane, and Glaive having so much gold already.
Yep.
We are going to have to see what they're going to have to do to come back with this. But it's going to be the CP Idris. So tell me how that's going to play a bit differently from the weapon power Idris when going into the Celeste.
Well, he's going to be able to hit from a distance instead of having to dive right on top of her. He'll have more say on his position rather than having to get right on top of her. And especially with the Glaive on the team too, if Glaive can combo into this Idris, then Idris will be able to deal some huge damage.
Yeah. But he is going to be a little bit less tanky as the fact of being the crystal and not the weapon, correct? So
yeah,
out for the Celeste a bit more, which is obviously, as we've seen in the past, extremely deadly if she lands a good core collapse and a heliogenesis. Though Celeste now coming up from behind on the Idris and Lyra, just going to try to take down the minions, though Glaive is there. The Afterburn comes out, taking them down in the Shroud Step, actually, to deal some of the finishing damage. And now it's Lance and Arden left in a 2v3 in lane as the minions get pushed in, and now they're onto the turret. They use the impale, just gonna let the turret fall. There's not much they could do with the superior levels and damage already. So Arden and Lance gonna back off as Glaive takes the middle tree on, and we just see already the damage difference coming out, right?
yeah, we're definitely going to be able to see this Glaive snowball hard. The Idris doesn't have that much gold compared to the Glaive though, so Glaive will have to be carrying.
Yep, but Glaive, of course, dealing so much damage when you just get a couple items into such low level and squishy targets. It's happening.
Now we see both a Shatterglass and a Sorrow Blade come out for CozzPVP. So it's only Looks 4.5 minutes in, and they're already stacked up on gold.
They're going to be dealing quite a bit of damage. And we do see Sapphire Aces just back off all their players going to shop. Just quite a decent rotation. Nothing being lost right now, which is good. But now it is Celeste, Arden, and Lance rotating the lane just versus the Idris. The Chakram, though, taking a ton of Lance's health, though. It does get traded by the Impale. The Githian wall misses, and they have to back off the Lyra now behind them. Just trying to slow them a bit with their auto attacks and their sigil. 1v3, the core collapse comes down. Glaive pops an infusion, though, goes on to the Celeste and picks her off. Now it's Lance running away, trying to stay alive with no health. The fountain, not enough to keep him alive. And now Arden just has to leave. But the Chakram in the Glaive take him down. Glaive picks up a triple kill and now goes to take the sentry.
That fight turned around really quickly.
Yeah, just dealing so much damage and getting in there and taking them all down.
You would think that Sapphire Aces would have had the advantage there, especially since
with Lyra being got out.
It was so separated and everything else, and then all of a sudden it just turned around once Glaive jumped in. Taking
down the Celeste, excuse me, and Idris gonna pick up the turret. So very good job by CozzPVPShaded to actually take objectives after getting these kills, though. Now Lance is just in the middle of nowhere, gets taken down by the Glaive, trying to get onto the back line, not gonna make it work. And now Another turret. CozzPVPShaded another afterburn onto the Arden, misses the Celesto and the core collapse. Very good to land on the Glaive. Though the Solar Storm does go wide, it takes a bit of damage onto Idris. And now Glaive in the backline. Celeste one hit, not going to be able to get taken down in the portal out. Though Glaive taken extremely low. Now Lance is caught out. He is not going to land an Impale, so Glaive is going to stay alive and go back in. It's going to
Wow.
the afterburn back as the portal disappears. And the core collapse is going to miss. Sentry closer to lane. Very good play and very good
Probably take
coordination.
the Crystal Sentry if Glaive, and nope, they're actually gonna
No,
port.
they're just going to back off, and Glaive is going to try to take a bit of jungle, though the Impale does miss. The Gauntlet comes down on Idris. Idris now in a 2v1. Shimmer Strike to stay alive. Lance not able to do enough damage. Now it's Glaive back in, using the ultimate, taking down Lance, and now Celeste just backing up as Glaive continues to deal damage.
They already Sapphire Aces are at a huge disadvantage right now.
Yeah, already at 8k gold lead.
Yeah.
We just see them constantly pushing lane. No fear. Afterburn over the wall, the core collapse, and the impale missing. Come out, and now the Heliogenesis dealing lots of damage. Glaive taking extremely low, uses the portal to come out, and the Solar Storm misses, not picking up the kill. Glaive going in. No health. The Sigil, though, from over the wall. Keep him alive. The Impale and the core collapse missing, but he does get taken down by the Celeste, and finally they pick up a kill for Sapphire Aces, and now it's a 2v3. They're going to try to push it. The Impale landing on the Idris, as well as the Githian Wall. The Sigil and the Bulwark to keep him alive. He's extremely low. Is he going to be able to get out, though? Auto? The Impale missing, though, not going to pick up the kill. Idris will.
Idris gets away.
Yeah. What should Sapphire Aces be doing right now to come back into this to pick up some objectives? Does Glaive just hold the lane? What do they need to do?
If they can catch out the Idris and kill him, they'll get a ton of gold bounty, just like they did from the Glaive. So that would be their ticket to working their way back in.
Especially getting some objectives, but they are just going to back off. So still very possible. They obviously do have an extremely late game comp with the Celeste.
But the Lance is quite early game, especially with his high early damage, and he's going to fall off very quickly.
Dodging the core collapse, the afterburn comes out. Celeste not going to block it. The Echo coming out on Glaive to afterburner twice as Idris comes in. The Impale misses, and now Celeste decimated by a chakram. Lance just going to run away as Arden just tries to peel for him, but the portal and the bulwark going to hold him back, and now going to be on the back line, dodging the Impale, though. It hits Idris, and Lance 1 HP, not going to get out. The auto attack from Idris going to pick him up. And now they're going to go on to the turrets. 9 minutes, and they're looking to end. Lyra going to have to buy them a little bit of time with the zoning. Extremely low. The minions are going down. Are they going to be able to finish off the second turret? Not. The Heliogenesis dealing damage to Idris. Now it's Glaive and Idris running away. Lyra in the back, trying to get out. Glaive just recalling in front of the enemy team. No fear. Going wide, but the chakram does not. Connects, dealing a lot of damage. Lance has to be very careful. The Shimmer Strike and the Afterburn to engage, and now it's Idris onto the Arden and the Celeste as Glaive takes down the Lance. Sapphire Ace is extremely low, and that's going to be the game if they can just push this in. 15-second death timers at 10 minutes.
Yeah, they're going to win it here. There's no way.
Yeah. Of course, Glaive getting the extra damage on the Vayne before it's able to be taken down. And that's going to be game. Unless, actually, Sapphire Aces can kill them before they can get this Vayne. A good gauntlet to come out to zone him. Lance is on the Idris. He's taking quite a bit of damage from the chakram, and he gets taken down. Just deleted. Not able to do enough. And now it's a double afterburn onto the Arden. Oh, Celeste decimated. The Solar Storm does not get off. So going over to Idris. And that's game one. Oh, but look, they're looking to leave the Vayne alive. Obviously,
that
taking
is
the
very
strategic.
toxic.
talk about how leaving that vein alive is going to definitely benefit their late game as they hit these power spikes more, and explain to me why it is, of course, the obvious strategic choice, Pizza.
I mean, when you have a 10k gold lead, you're not worried about anything.
Right, right. And you need to really get back and get this gold miner so that you can continue to build up your items, just making sure that there's no way the enemy can come back. Right.
Oh yeah, improving that gold lead by any amount is
Taking down the vein,
substantial to sustaining a lead.
taking down the vein actually doesn't give you any gold. So making the smart choice and going back for the gold miner, 400 gold for every member of the team, definitely.
Definitely a much higher value for their team.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely upping their stats a little bit.
Yeah. No. Well, you want to be safe, you know, you don't want to make any mistakes. So the right choice. Arden, of course, staying in the bush, zoning out Idris, though now Glaive just sitting there, eating damage, and using an Echo Afterburn, because that's what you do as weapon power Glaive. Run away the fountain, though still taking a lot of damage, missing the Heliogenesis, not going to do enough without it. Now it's Lance in the back line, putting down the minion mines, making sure they have the vision, though, missing the impale.
He definitely had to make sure he got that vision.
Well, right. Right.
Hard backdoor comp.
Definitely don't want them to take the vein. And obviously, though the vein is up, the gold mine does have a third of its gold, so they might want to go back for that. Not giving any gold. But that does look like it's going to be game one going over to CozzPVPShaded. Just a bit of fun at the end.
Yeah, the minions are really hard pushing right now. And
Glaive. Oh, Glaive goes down
again.
Taken down by the skillful Sapphire Aces, having his KD. Second.
I mean, if they were trying to improve their stats at the end, they didn't do a good job.
Yeah, they really didn't. But quite the game. Showing obviously the dominance behind CozzPVPShaded, and gonna be rough for Sapphire Aces to do. Of course, that's gonna be game one of the North American Champions League. We'll be right back with the second. Or that game though, Pizza.
That was something else.
Yeah. What?
That was so one-sided.
Better. Key for obviously CozzPVPShaded getting off to an early start, and then what was the key like mistakes that really put them behind? And if they hadn't,
those 2 kills at the very start were what snowballed it so hard, because Glaive, once he gets kills and once he has gold and that 2-level advantage at the beginning, there was no coming back from that.
Yeah, definitely. And Lance, obviously, you got to be careful. He does have that burst, but not the sustain that Glaive has, and not quite the damage to win it early, but very interesting. And it looks like we're going to get into the draft here in a second.
Sapphire Aces definitely had the comp advantage, but they couldn't execute it properly.
They had all the things necessary, just the aggressive and the mechanics coming out of the Glaive early were too much for them to handle. And I'll let you talk about this draft as we get into it with a Fin ban.
Fin ban is something you don't see very often, but it can definitely be helpful into if you don't want the enemy team to get too much tank. Especially if they were trying to do another Glaive, because Fin can definitely counter the burst damage with his B once you get some levels on that. And there's going to be a pedal pick.
Yep, with the Ozo ban, classic. Yep.
And a Saw. This is already an interesting draft.
Yeah, Saw obviously being actually one of the best counters in the game for Petal, because his suppressing fire will just take down the Munions. No harm from such a long range. So I'm going to have to give this draft immediately to Sapphire Aces with one of the best counter picks possible.
It was a good counter pick, but it's a weapon power Petal likely.
Oh, if it could. I mean, still, it is going to give him that extra range and that burst of damage, and it could be a weapon power Saw, which would certainly deal more damage. But think about this Glaive and Fortress pick.
This is a dive heavy comp, especially into the Saw.
Yeah.
If he gets caught out, especially by the glaive, there's no coming back for them. And the flicker pick comes out.
All right. So it
So
does look
jungle
like
flicker?
P Flicker jungle with a weapon power saw lane, which obviously is gonna definitely grant the damage output over to the saw and lane. Petal just not gonna be able to keep up with his damage output. It's gonna be interesting how they play these comps though.
I would actually like to see weapon power flicker in a CP saw, especially against the pedal.
Right.
The
Right.
roadie run can definitely eliminate the pedal instantly if she gets caught out. And the flicker, if he can get in there with the slow, he can definitely CC them a bit.
Right. That's very true. Flicker obviously being a weapon power warrior. Yeah. It's gonna be
Oh,
very interesting.
you already see the weapon power flicker.
The weapon
Wait, is
power
it gonna be
Flicker,
weapon
the
power
weapon power
Arden?
Arden. Right.
Both
Right.
of them?
Actual flex pick, Arden, obviously a classic weapon power jungler. It's gonna be
Something you
quite
don't see
impressive.
very often though.
And they are gonna go aggressive. So 2 of the 3 members on SB3 picking up the boots. They're gonna push over, and now it's Glaive caught out in the jungle. In a 1v3, Flicker is on top of him. Saw landing auto attacks, using the suppressive fire on literally nobody. And Flicker and Arden are gonna take the farm. Back off, and now Glaive.
Flicker's overextending quite a bit.
Yep, but now there's Fortress and there's Saw contract. Now everybody has split up on CozzPVPShaded. They're all running completely different ways. But Flicker in the jungle actually dealing quite a bit of damage to Glaive. Go over to their jungle to steal some farm in. That'll push his lane. Quite the interesting rotation so far. Which one was the smarter one in your opinion?
Well, definitely CozzPVP did the right choice by sending the fortress in the enemy jungle to take the farm after the entire enemy team invaded.
Yep, and Arden gets taken down in lane for the first blood by Petal, though she's taken extremely low.
Petal needs to port back.
Yeah,
It
she
would be
doesn't.
so easy for the Saw and the Flicker to eliminate her.
Saw doing a very good job of pushing this turret down, actually. Oh, the suppressing fire not going to deal enough damage, though. He has to back off after taking 2 turret shots. Obviously, the only downside of Saw being that he is immobile. He gets afterburned, but the Dragon Blood dealing a bit of damage. Now it's Flicker in a 1v3. Can he pick up the glaive kill? No, just out of range. He can't pick it up. Take Petal pretty low. And now it's Arden in the 1v3, 1v1ing the Fortress. Obviously able to win that with the Weapon Blaze, giving him such a damage bonus.
It's looking like a
he's gonna
support Saw in a Flicker lane. Or is it an Arden lane?
such a slow, obviously very, very useful for ganking. As Fortress, obviously slow, taken extremely low. Can Arden pick up the kill? No, one more auto attack. He can't get it. And Fortress is barely going to escape. Saw with the slow, though, making sure it came that close. And now Fortress actually is going to stay in lane, has to be very careful on the range on the suppressing fire and the flicker.
An interesting thing to note is the Saw is getting all the farm, but he's also building off support items while the Flicker and the Arden are building weapon power.
Oh, Flicker gonna pick up Fortress in the jungle, using the stealth to his advantage. Stellar play. Right. Though Glaive now is gonna look to fight him, it seems like. This 1v1 on. Lane we see. Though Arden has rotated. And the boots. Using the auto attacks to take Glaive down. He punts Saw, though Saw not taking much damage. Shanks a Munyon and goes away, but now it's Flicker on the chase for Glaive. And just the fiesta of a game. What do you think so far about this Saw and Lane?
I mean, he's building all support items, which is helping the Arden and the Flicker a little bit, but he should be the one building the damage since he's getting the farm.
I mean, yeah, that's very true. Flicker building into the spell sword, actually. Not the classic weapon power Flicker build. Be interesting how the change of weapon power Flicker builds actually affects their playstyle. He does have the infusion, so it does look like they're gonna look to look like they're gonna try to pick a fight. To see what they go with here in a minute, though. Saw and Flicker in lane versus Fortress. Suppressing fire. Get out, though. The afterburn to keep him alive. Keep Flicker away.
And the Arden is going for attention, though.
Yep.
This will be quite interesting to see how this affects Petal, especially
Yep.
since she's so squishy.
Fortress picks up a kill, but Saw on the backline doing quite a bit of damage. The afterburn though, and Glaive is on him. Takes him down. And they are going to split the objectives. Quite a smart choice, but questionable. Is Fortress going to be able to take this gold mine, or is he disconnected? Oh,
They will not be able to take this.
it's too much damage. Is Flicker going to be able to hold this lane, though, is also going to be the question. Oh, Fortress taking a turret shot extremely low. Petal's going to take down Arden. Way. So quite the game so far.
The Fortress is making some risky plays being so low and diving so deep.
And he could be dead, so. Ooh, the suppressing fire barely going to miss, and now it's Petal onto the Saw. As the turret goes down, the afterburn on Glaive. The Saw is going to pop the boots and the dank shank to get out. Gonna be interesting. In on Fortress, though he does get the port off. Very, very low, and now it's Petal and Arden. Sorry, Petal and Glaive in a 2v2. Potentially 2v3 if Saw can move close enough.
Looks like Saw will rotate down right now.
And to take the jungle farm.
The Petal already has a Sorrow Blade too, and once she starts getting crit, she'll start hard snowballing.
Flicker in the enemy jungle actually gets caught out, landing on 2 minion mines. Vision mines, so he's going to have to back off, but Petal actually picks up the Arden in lane. We're going to have to be careful. Fortress buying quite a bit of mines. Really wants to capitalize on Vision versus this Flicker, obviously. Quite the assassin. You have to have Vision, otherwise his stealth will get up close, and you do not want him close to your carries. He will take them down very fast.
On the side of CozzPVP, we already see the Petal with 2 tier 3 items, those being a Sorrow Blade and a Tornado Trigger. And on the entire side of Sapphire,
1 tier 3 item. They are going to use a stealth, but Fortress alt comes out, and Arden just gets destroyed by the Petal as well as Flicker. That's a double kill, and now it's all up to Saw. Stay alive, and Fortress actually picks up the kill, so it's going to be an ace going over to CozzPVPShaded.
CozzPVPShaded should be able to push in and get a turret right here. It'd be surprising if they don't.
Fortress not going for the gold mine. A questionable choice, and they are going to take the turret. Though Arden is there to try to defend it, he's not going to have enough damage. So they are going to have to back off. Arden just gets destroyed by the Petal. And now it's Fortress on the chase, though, taking a bit of damage.
We're looking at almost a 6k gold lead already.
Yeah, it's 7 minutes, so quite the turn. But, of course, you never know. Could always be crazy advantages to certain comps, and we're going to have to see what the reasoning is behind draft as we get towards this middle to late game.
They're triple weapon power right now, which does not fare well, but there's not much armor.
They are all building tension bows at one point, so quite the right choice by that. But now it's Fortress taken extremely low. Flicker trying to chase him down, but gets 2-shot by the Petal. Now Petal with the double kill. Saw going in for the shank, does not get it, and gets picked up by the Glaive. Another ace going over to CozzPVPShaded. Fortress just making sure that they have vision, though. Basically vision over the entire map. As Petal takes down the sentry, they're going to push the turret. And PvPShaded really need to prioritize now that they have a 6,000 gold lead at 8 minutes.
Well, they should definitely prioritize getting some Fortress, like damage on Fortress, because all he has right now is a Storm Crown.
Right.
Which is not dealing enough damage to be useful, but they're already so far ahead, it doesn't matter.
Oh, Arden and Glaive taking down by Fortress and Petal, and now it's Saw in the back trying to take down the Petal. Cannot. And another ace. Score currently 21-1. in favor of CozzPVPShaded, and it looks like they're going to be pushing this lane, potentially trying to end. Birds are still up, and there goes Flicker to save it. Great gauntlet, landing the stun, and Fortress gets taken down, but he trades with the Flicker, and now it's all on Saw as Arden gets taken down to Petal. Saw trying to take down the Petal, does get taken down, and a double kill for Petal. They're going to push this last turret, and that could be game. But of course, as we saw last game, the gold mine is full, and the Vayne not giving any gold, not what you want to be taking right now. So they are going to go with the questionable call and try to end.
Looks like they're going to end it right here, and that'll be game 2.
That'll be game 2, going over to CozzPVPShaded. So a bit of a trolley game going for the second game, but mechanical skill behind that team and how hard they're going to be to take down during the rest of the playoffs.
They're looking extremely strong already, and while this is not the fairest matchup we've seen, this is definitely showing the skill of them all around.
Yeah.
Just being able to dominate after they've already taken a lead.
Yep. Obviously doing very well. Expect them to do very well in the rest of the playoffs. And that is going to be it for now. We will be back later tonight. Obviously going over to Team CozzPVPShaded. This is the North American Champions League, brought to you by Band and partnered with Vainsocial.